we will be installing the 6-element front-mounted intercooler. This intercooler fits the 2024 newer Toyota Tacoma, 2024 and newer Toyota Land Cruiser LC250, and the 2025 and newer Toyota 4Runner. Tools needed for this install are a 8, 10, 12, 14, and 17 millimeter sockets. Of course, something to spin those sockets with, a ratcheting 10 millimeter box wrench, and some kind of pry tool or flathead screwdriver. And, a set of pliers also wouldn't hurt. Let's start this install by removing the fender flares. Each of these fender flares has a collection of plastic clips that your prying device, flathead screwdriver, will be super useful in taking out. Also, you may find a couple different bolts here and there. These bolts should be 8mm, but double check. After those are removed, you can just grab the fender flare and start pulling it off the fender. This is kind of scary. It's going to make some popping noises, but it should just come right off. And yes, at first it is a little scary. Next to the bottom of the bumper and the fender, there's a couple more tabs that need to be removed. And behind there, you'll find an electrical connection on both the driver and passenger side. These need to be removed before the bumper can come off. Now let's go under the front bumper and start taking off even more plastic clips. There's a bunch under here. See which ones are in the video to remove. There may be one or two more, but these plastic clips have to come off before the front bumper cover can be removed. I don't know what Mark is doing. I don't know why he just disappeared. I don't know why he's waving his hand, but there's probably going to be something in there where he's waving. Now let's move on to the skid plate. Not all vehicles come standard with this skid plate. Of course, this Land Cruiser has it, so it has to go. You can remove all the bolts except for one. One will keep the plate in place, but you can loosen it to slide the plate off. And just when you thought taking the skid plate off means you're done underneath the truck, no, just kidding. There's a couple more pop clips and bolts to take out. Alright, now we are done with the underside of the vehicle. Now let's start working on the engine bay. There is an engine cover. Well, it's more like a radiator cover. I'm going to call this the radiator intercooler engine cover, but guess what? It's got to go. A couple more pop clips, comes right out. Well, now I think we're down to the last couple bolts on top of this bumper cover. You'll see that we have moved to the 10mm socket now. Remove these bolts, and then let's go ahead and get this bumper cover off. This might be a little loud and scary. If you have all of the pop clips and bolts removed, this bumper should just come right off. Remember those electrical pigtails that we unplugged earlier? Yeah, this is why it's important to disconnect those. Well, this is just getting started, isn't it? We've got even more plastic that needs to come off. There are 3 air diverters that need to come off, a plastic crumple zone that needs to come off, and also the hood latch support that also hangs on to our horns also needs to come off. Anything else that's kind of connected to it, you'll see here. This may seem like a lot to do this, but honestly, taking out bolts, putting bolts back in, it's not that difficult. And honestly, we'd rather do this than have to completely remove the radiator and drain all the fluids out of it and have to refill that later. So honestly, taking out these nuts and bolts at this point doesn't feel that bad. The next two plastic bits we're getting ready to remove are the last two air diverters that we should need to remove. Mark's kind of pointing them out here for us. But anything we take off, we're also going to put right back on. The only thing we're not going to reinstall is the factory intercooler. Of course, you're replacing it with the 6-element intercooler. This hood latch support that also houses the horns has a couple things connected to it. Just unclip them, dress them to the side. And you'll see this AC line that's on the driver's side. We're going to go ahead and remove that bolt, dress that line to the side, and of course, reinstall it later. Because right now, it's just kind of in the way. Again, I haven't told you exactly when to switch your sockets. This front engine cross member does have 14mm bolts. So you go ahead and switch over to that one. But these four definitely have to come off so this cross member can get out of the way. At this point, you should probably remove your air intake. Doesn't matter if you have a factory air intake or a 6-element air intake. We're going to take it out because it is just in the way of the factory charge pipe that we also have to remove and take it off the intercooler. After that, grab your pliers and we're going to take off the two vacuum lines that are attached to the factory intercooler. Just grab the hose clamp, slide it up the hose after you pinch it, and then just slide off the hose. After that, let's move over to the driver's side. The driver's side is a little different. It has a temperature sensor that is screwed into the factory intercooler. We're going to take our 17mm socket and we're just going to crack it loose. After it's loose, we're going to go ahead and spin that out by hand. We don't want to put any stress on this temperature sensor. Then we're going to remove the driver's side charge pipe. If you're unsure how to remove your factory charge pipes, they have a spring clamp on each end. Those spring clamps just separate, lock in place, and you can grab the charge pipe and slide it off. It's a pretty great design and super easy to do. On our $70,000 Land Cruiser here, we still have a prop rod, which for the intercooler install is actually kind of helpful. We use a set of bungee cords to support the intercooler and radiator while we are disconnecting a couple things. But if you have hood struts, this is a time where you can get creative in supporting your radiator and intercooler system. And honestly, for us, this is kind of just a extra safety measure. We've seen people support this system multiple different ways, but this is just the tried and true for us because we have a prop rod on a $70,000 vehicle. There are 6 bolts that hold the intercooler and radiator assembly to the vehicle. We will be reusing these to install the 6-element intercooler. After those bolts are removed, there are now 4 bolts that hold the factory intercooler to the factory radiator. Take these out so we can get going on removing this factory intercooler. One of these, in particular, is a little more difficult to get to. This is where your ratcheting 10mm box wrench comes in handy. Well, at least that's what we used. You can probably use something else. We find this tool works perfectly for this. Again, of course, if you can find it. Now you can see Mark picked up the radiator intercooler assembly and moved it away from the body a little bit so you have more room to access these bolts. This is where the bungee cords are coming into play. They're actually supporting this system. Again, 10mm ratcheting box wrench, really helping us out here. Honestly, if you don't have one, please go get one. Hey, you should probably get 2. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's yank this thing out. Okay, seriously, don't yank on it. But let's gently grab this intercooler and work it out of the vehicle. You're gonna have to move the radiator and intercooler around a little bit, front, back, left, right, up, down, just like Bop It, so you can take it and get it out of the vehicle. After it's out of the vehicle, you got a little more work to do. We want to utilize some of the factory hardware on this intercooler. There's 2 grommets on the passenger side that we're going to press out the metal sleeve. We just did this with a pair of pliers. It's super easy. And then slide the grommet off and then install it into the new intercooler. Pop the grommet on, slide the sleeve back in it. That's it. Also, on the passenger side, those 2 vacuum lines that we disconnected earlier, yep, they are already pre-installed on this new intercooler. But It's smart to check to make sure these are tight before we install it. Okay, keen eyes will see that we switched vehicles. Why do we switch vehicles? Because this intercooler fits both. And we wanted to show you that this same exact intercooler fits the 24 and newer Tacoma and the Land Cruiser. It also fits the 4Runner, but here we are. Now, this will go in the same on both vehicles. You're going to have to work in one side, then the other. We decided to go with the driver's side first, and then slide in the passenger side. This does fit. I promise you, you're going to have to maneuver it a little bit, but this will go together. Those 4 bolts that we removed earlier that kept the factory intercooler to the radiator, we're going to reuse those right now to attach your new 6-element intercooler to the factory radiator. Guess what? The ratcheting box wrench comes right back out. Definitely didn't lose it. Definitely didn't spend 20 minutes trying to find it. Alright, so this is a cool feature right here. The factory radiator actually has a little nubbin, a little sticky outy bit that actually can support the radiator if you lift the assembly and take that little hook and use it to support the radiator by inserting it into the vehicle's crossmember. This will very temporarily and cautiously support the system while you get the next 6 bolts installed. At this point, we want to tighten down those 4 10mm bolts that attach the intercooler to the radiator. Again, these mounting locations are exactly the same on the Tacoma, 4Runner, and Land Cruiser. Get these 6 bolts started first before you crank down on them. This will help to ensure that you can get all 6 bolts started without much issue. Now we can safely remove our bungee cords or your other support system, and we can reinstall the engine bay crossmember. These are those 14mm bolts. Start them all, then tighten them down. Now let's reinstall that AC line, hood latch support with the horns. Just showed you on the Tacoma that the install of the crossmember is exactly the same. What differs from the Tacoma to the Land Cruiser is the Tacoma actually has a weird little bolt on the backside. If you need that, refer to our Tacoma intercooler install. But luckily, Land Cruiser doesn't have that bolt. So let's reinstall the factory crossmember, the air diverters, the hood latch support with the horns, the plastic crumple zone with all of its bolts, and then the lower air diverter. Keen eyes may have seen that yes, this is the same footage you saw earlier, but just in reverse. If you didn't see it earlier, that's okay. It's super convincing. At least our editor thinks so. After the crossmember, crumple zone, and air diverters and all that's back in place, let's go ahead and reinstall the charge pipes. Now, if you have an upgraded set of charge pipes, now is the perfect time to install those. But if you still have the factory ones, that's okay. Let's reinstall those. After the driver's side charge pipe is installed, we're going to go ahead and now reinstall the temperature sensor. We're going to thread this in by hand and then tighten it down with our 17mm socket. And yes, this is a deep well socket. Also, after you do that, don't forget to plug it in. Your truck won't like you very much if you don't plug that in. Now, back on the passenger side, we've got those 2 vacuum lines. We're going to go ahead and slide those on with the clamps. You may need your pliers to reinstall those clamps. Squeeze them, slide them down, let them go. And yes, driver side charge pipe is next. Both ends should just slide and clip on. Back under the vehicle, we've got those plastic crossmember trim pieces. Some have bolts, some have plastic clips. Let's go ahead and reinstall those. And then don't forget that big piece of metal you've got in the corner. Yeah, that's your skid plate. You took that off. Let's put that back on now too. Again, 4Runner, Tacoma, Land Cruiser, roughly all the same install. Here's a clip of the 4Runner going back together as well. The plastic intercooler and radiator cover goes in just the same. Reinstall your air box just the same. Then clip on your front bumper. Again, you've got a couple clips to put on first, and then you can tighten it down with the bolts. And just like that, you're done. That is the full install of the 6-element intercooler. Now, you might ask, why do we need to upgrade the intercooler? Well, here's the deal. If you've lifted your vehicle, put on larger tires, and if your vehicle has been overlanding or overloaded, performance of your vehicle is going to start to struggle. And these mods, like an upgraded intercooler, intake, charge pipes, turbo inlet, are all going to help your engine breathe better and give it the most performance it can. If you have any questions, please feel free to send us an email to csr@6element.com. And feel free to check out our website, 6element.com, to stay up to date with all 6 Element has to offer.